Hey beautiful, welcome back to my tarot channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Roya. I'm an intuitive tarot and oracle reader. Now my dear, I hope you're having an amazing day and everything is going fine with you. If today is not the best day, I'm sending you tons and tons and tons of positive energy and I hope everything will be well soon. Now, guys, today I'm back with another PickaCard reading. And as you guys may know, I'm in my future spouse week, which is all about one future spouse reading every single day. If you haven't watched the previous one, in which it was all about what your future spouse's first impression of you will be, I'm gonna make sure to link it up there. But yeah, today it's all about what will be your first impression of your future spouse. So, my dear, let's start straight away with the reading. I'm very, very excited. Oh, and by the way, this is going to be a candle wax reading. Now, as always, 3 pounds for you guys. And today I have crystals and also cards ready to choose from. So, this is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is going to be pile 3. As always, my dear, please feel free to pause the video, or you can also meditate on the cards if you feel like you need a little bit more time to choose. You will find all the timestamps in the description box, but of course also in the comment section. And as always, my dear, please keep in mind that this is a general reading, so not everything may resonate with you. But yeah, having said that, let's begin. Hey pal one, welcome to your reading, my dear. Now let's see what will be your first impression of your future spouse. Now, before we start with the candle wax reading, my dear, I would like to get you one card from this Oracle Archetype deck. So yeah, let's start straight away. For my beautiful pile 1. For my beautiful pile 1, okay. What will be your first impression of your future spouse? Let's see. All right, so we got the Child Nature card. Wow, that's a beautiful card to get. I love this energy. It's so gentle. It's so honestly warm. There is no other way to say it. All right, so let's see. What do you need to know about what your first impression of your future spouse is going to be? First of all, my dear, I really feel like when you meet your future spouse for the very first time, it will be very easy for you guys to connect with each other, especially the communication. It may be very easy for you guys to start a conversation or yeah, to really connect. You know, sometimes when we meet someone for the very first time, it can sometimes be a little bit awkward or it can be a little bit difficult to connect with them or to start things off, right? Depending on the situation and the people involved and stuff like that, right? But what I'm seeing here with you and your future spouse is that you're gonna notice, and this could very well be a first impression that you're gonna have of them, that it's pretty easy to talk to them. It's pretty easy to be in their space and their energy. And it's not only easy, but it actually feels very comforting, very nurturing. I feel like you're gonna feel pretty safe with your future spouse pretty early on, which is definitely something very interesting, right? Because normally it may take a person some time to feel comfortable around someone, you know, because especially if they are a stranger, right? I mean, you don't know them and stuff like that. But what I'm seeing in here is that your future spouse carries a very beautiful energy. And this energy allows people to open up to them very easily and also trust this person. Your future spouse comes off as a very trustworthy person, and you're gonna witness on yourself, like you're gonna witness this firsthand on yourself as well, that their energy is very beautiful to be around, and there's something about this person that feels very safe. Look at the illustration. We can see this beautiful woman in here, and she's holding this animal right to her chest, or she's like hugging it. And although they normally are, like when we look into their nature, they're pretty scared of humans, and normally they run away when they see one, right? They get very stressed around human beings. We can see that in this woman's arms, it's pretty calm and it looks very relaxed. It looks very comfortable. And I don't know why, but I got this message for you guys as well. Maybe you're someone who definitely needs some time to open up to people or to trust people. But when we look at reality, it's also important to look at energy, because everything is made of energy. And sometimes those may be subconscious processes, but a person's energy also influences the way we are interacting with them, even if it's on a subconscious mind. I mean, sometimes it is conscious, and we may say, wow, this person, like, they have great vibes, or their energy is great. But sometimes there are certain subconscious things happening that we may not be fully aware of, but we're picking up on a person's energy field. And one thing I would like to say here is that your future spouse has a very beautiful energy field, and it makes people feel good around them. And this is something that you will also experience with your future spouse. And yeah, definitely a very positive first impression here coming through. Now, my dear, I would like to start with your candle wax reading. So let me get you your water bowl. As always, my dear, before the reading, I meditated for you guys, and I would say let's start straight away. I also already got your candle here. So for my beautiful pile, 1. As always, my dear, as always, please give me a moment. Please give me a moment to tune into the energies in here. For my beautiful pile 1, what will be your first impression of your future spouse? What do you need to know about this? Let's see. Okay, I'm getting a message coming through, which it has nothing to do with the first impression, but I feel like it's still a very important message that needs to come through. So what I'm receiving, my dear, is that you will not see your future spouse coming. You will not expect their arrival or this meeting. For some of you guys, maybe reconciliation if this person's already in your life, but for the majority, this first meeting, you will not expect it. I really feel like it's something you could call out of the blue, or something that's gonna come towards you without you even seeing it coming your way. And what I find, though, very interesting at the same time is that even though you're not expecting it, when they come through, it's not gonna take you very long to acknowledge who this person is for you, or who they could be, potentially speaking. You're gonna see this person pretty early on as a potential partner. And honestly, I don't know whether some of you guys, you are just very aware. I mean, if this is a spiritual connection, for example, and there is this level of recognition here, it could also be your intuition. But I really feel like for some of you guys, what will be one of your first impressions of your future spouse, you will see this person as your future spouse, or as a potential spouse. I see that coming through very clearly. Now, of course, it depends on the situation, right? um, for some of you guys, maybe once again, this is a spiritual connection and you recognize them, and your intuition, is going to let you know, and you will know that, okay, this is the person that's the one for me. For others, if you're living at a place where maybe arranged marriage is a normal thing or something that happens very regularly, and this is something that you would also like to experience, it could be the case that you meet this person, and you will know, well, they're my future spouse. So it's kind of like this, like, you're gonna know, okay? You're gonna know. For others of you, maybe you're gonna meet them somewhere and you just have this feeling. You just have this feeling that mm, this is someone that will be very important in my life. I know, pal one, you could be very intuitive, but it's actually a very incredible thing to get a first impression about your future spouse in which you kind of feel like they're your future spouse. And that's why, yeah, I said maybe there's a spiritual connection here, or maybe arranged marriage for some of you guys, but it really feels like you're receiving some background information. One thing I would also like to mention here is that your future spouse is coming through as very masculine. Now, always keep in mind, this is regarding their energy. This is not gender, so it doesn't matter who you are and who you're interested in. We all have feminine and masculine energy within us, right? And what I'm seeing is that at the time when you will meet your future spouse, they will have a lot of masculine energy. It's going to be something that you will notice about them pretty like instantly. Maybe the kind of phase in their life they're going to be in is going to be one in which their masculine energy is dominating their life. But that's something I received. I received that one of the impressions I'm going to have is that they're very masculine. For some of you guys, after this first meeting, you guys may get in touch, or excuse me, stay in touch through some kind of like device, like online speaking. I see a lot of interaction, like back and forth. For some of you guys, maybe you met your future spouse online, but that's for the minority. I feel like this online energy, it's more so about maybe you guys are gonna get to know each other through that a lot, maybe through exchanging your phone numbers or some kind of maybe social media. But I definitely see this a lot of back and forth here. One thing that you may also notice about your future spouse is that maybe they're going to come off a little bit. Is it guarded? I don't know whether guarded is the right word, but your future spouse is someone who protects themselves. And they have a beautiful energy that draws people in, all kinds of people. So maybe that's why they have to take some caution, because they know, okay, a lot of different people, they get drawn towards my energy, they get drawn towards me, but that doesn't mean that every single person that, wants to be around me is also good for me, right? And maybe that's why I'm receiving this, I would say, careful energy coming towards them. I mean, they love to interact, like they love to have conversations with people and stuff like that. However, it feels like, of course, they are open to people, but they're gonna be very careful and cautious when it comes to who they allow into their inner circle. Because there is one thing being open and social, and like chatting and stuff like that, but it's something totally different to actually allow people into your private life, right? And I feel like when it comes to the latter, like when it comes to the private life, it's something that they don't take lightly. They're very thoughtful and careful. Maybe in the past they allowed people in that just, yeah, weren't really good for them, but even though your future spouse is going to be very open, and as I said, especially their energy, you're going to feel so safe around them, you may somehow witness that when it comes to the real deal, when it comes to who they really allow into their safe space, they're going to be very mindful of that. Maybe you're going to witness someone trying to get close to them and they being very quick to reject when they feel like that person is not good for them, which of course is something very understanding, right? I feel like it's very important to protect, right, from the wrong energies, and that's kind of what I'm seeing them doing here as well. And you may witness it through a third person. Another thing you're gonna see, or another first impression, I guess, that you're gonna get from your future spouse is that they're very knowledgeable. This person is very knowledgeable. I feel like they have gathered a lot of information like during their life. This is someone who loves to always put more input, into their mind, and it's something which will impress you. Yeah, it's gonna be very impressive. Maybe you're someone who likes that. Maybe beauty is one thing, but something that impresses you on a whole different level is when you see the depth of a person's mind and how much, yeah, knowledgeable they are. That's definitely another thing here. And through a way, okay, it depends, of course, on the scenario you guys are gonna meet, but you're gonna get access to that knowledge, or you're gonna see them maybe sharing something, and that's gonna give you this impression. So, my beautiful pile one, this is all I have for you guys for today. As always, my dear, please feel free to let me know how you feel about this reading. And yeah, as always, my dear, if you haven't, I also invite you to subscribe to the channel. If you do, my dear, don't forget to hit the bell, because otherwise you may not get notified when I upload a new pick a card or candle wax reading. And my dear, as always, if you would like to connect with me more on Instagram, I invite you there as well. My beautiful pal one, take care, my dear. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading, my dear. Now let's see what will be your first impression of your future spouse. Now, my dear, before we start with the candle wax reading, I would like to get you one card from this Oracle Archetype deck. So yeah, let's see for my beautiful pile 2. What will be your what will be your first impression of your future spouse? What do you need to know for my beautiful pal 2? What will be your first impression? All right. And we got the trickster archetype, and it says transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. All right. The first thing, that's a very interesting message. Hmm. The first message I'm receiving regarding your future spouse, my dear, is that your future spouse is not gonna be like anyone you have met before. And one message that this card has given me is mystery. Because, tricksters, they always have this mysterious energy to them and what they do. There is also this curiosity there. And I feel like there is going to be something about your future spouse which will make them very, very unknown, mysterious to you, someone you've never met before. Maybe it has something to do with their background, or maybe something very different between you guys, which sometimes can make a person mysterious, or yeah, it can make us feel very curious about them because they're not like us, or they have something that is very different to us, so we feel drawn towards it. Like opposites attract. I feel like there is something about that in here. And of course, it depends on your individual situation because it may be very different for each and every one of you guys. But let me give you guys some examples so this message can be understood better. So, for example, let's just say maybe for some of you guys, this person is from a different country, and maybe physically they look very different to you, and you've never dated someone like them, and it makes them appear very mysterious and you feel very drawn towards them. For others, maybe you are from the same place, however, maybe it's their background. You guys could have been raised very differently when it comes to your life experiences and stuff like that. And this is going to be something that also draws you in because, yeah, there is this mystery about them. And of course, these are just examples. For some of you guys, it could be something totally different than that. But I really feel like your future spouse, like one of the first impressions you're going to have of them is they're going to stir this curiosity within you. It's kind of like you want to figure them out, if that makes sense, or you want to get to know them better. Yeah, I think that's a better way to say it. You're gonna be so curious, you want to get to know them. Because it's kind of like deep down you can feel there is a lot of depth to this person, and it's kind of like you only see the surface level coming through. This could also be someone who is very private, so maybe that's another aspect which adds to their mystery. They're not someone to overshare stuff or to share a lot of things, so it once again makes you a little bit curious about them. They're not an open book for sure. And yeah, I see that there's going to be this attraction towards them. They're not predictable. They are a puzzle to understand. Let me see. And I feel like this is the kind of person who is very good at surprises as well. Or this could be someone who loves to surprise others. I know this is like such a random message, but that's another thing I am receiving here. All right, so we're starting off pretty interesting. I would say let's start with your candle wax reading, my dear. Let me get you your water bowl. All right. Your candle. So for my beautiful pile 2, what will be your first impressions of your future spouse? What do you need to know about them? Let's see, let's see for my beautiful pal too. The first thing I would like to mention here is I'm I'm getting a message that one of the first impressions you're also gonna get about this person is that they're very stable or they're very secure. And I feel like it has something to do with their financial situation. Yeah. So I don't know how you're gonna get this impression. I'm not receiving anything in particular. Maybe it's something you hear about them that's gonna make you get this impression, or something you see that makes you feel like, okay, this looks like someone who is very stable, or something they do. This is also someone who's very protective of their loved ones. Mm, I mean, of course, everyone cares about their loved ones and, is protective of them. But I feel like this has something to do with the kind of circumstance, because we're talking about the first impressions. So you may actually you may actually see them do something that makes you go, wow, yeah, they're very protective of the people they care about. For sure. For some of you guys, my dear, there could be some differences between you guys. Like, I'm getting this message here as well. So, yeah, could be a confirmation or could be a specific message for someone, but I see this coming through. Okay, this is like such a random message, but I heard that one impression you're gonna get from them is that they are someone who doesn't judge people. Like, I feel like it is connected to the situation. Maybe something's gonna happen, and you're gonna see them showing a part of them. And this is gonna give you the impression that this is not someone to quickly judge others. This is someone who listens to other people, who observes them, but gives them a chance, They won't just make up their mind about someone because of one thing, like, that happens. This is someone who really wants to understand stuff. And this particular example really wants to understand people. They're very accepting as well, very open-minded as well, and they're not quick to judge. That's for sure. And I don't know why I'm receiving this message, but this could actually be something that you will like about them very, very much. Because maybe, my dear, you grew up in an environment in which people were really judgmental, or maybe you have been surrounded yourself, maybe you have felt like you were surrounded by people who tend to judge you or judge each other very easily. Maybe that's something that really irritates you or you absolutely don't like those kind of behaviors. So maybe that's something you're really gonna love in your future spouse, that they're not like that. And you appreciate it. When you meet your future spouse for the very first time, you will see them as a potential love interest. So, this is not the kind of scenario in which, let's just say, you get to know them, let's just say as a friend, and they stay a friend for some time, and then later on, slowly certain feelings come up and the friendship starts to transform into something romantic. This is not what I'm getting here. I feel like you will be very attracted towards them romantically and physically, and you will not see them as a potential friend, but more so as someone who you could imagine being with, romantically speaking. Someone who you could imagine being in a relationship with. Another thing, I know like this is such a random message, but for some of you guys, one thing that could help you on your journey, I'm hearing, is to have a rose quartz close to you. Okay? You also chose the rose quartz pile. This is also rose quartz. I don't know why I received this message. It has nothing to do with this, but like I heard this that rose quartz could help you on your journey. Now, rose quartz is, of course, the crystal that is associated with love and also self love. So, maybe some of you guys, you are on the self love journey, and this is your guides coming through, encouraging you. But yeah, maybe it's important for someone, but I received like rose quartz coming through here. I talked about the fact that I feel like your future spouse is someone who doesn't really quickly judge other people, right? And there is more to it. There is also something very humanitarian about them. It wouldn't surprise me if your future spouse does some kind of work to help other people. Maybe this will be another surprise that you will get to know about them. Once again, they are a very private person. I don't feel like they're gonna throw around with all the good they've done in their life. So you may get those things, you may get to know those things with time. However, it does play a role in this first impression. Maybe they will help out someone. You will witness some kind of interaction. But regarding the question who your future spouse is in particular, they are someone who definitely is very like helping to others. They love to be of service. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it. They like to help. Yeah, that's another thing. Maybe you will hear something about them the first time you will meet them. Or it influences your guys' first encounter. So, my beautiful pal 2, this is all I have for you guys for today. As always, my dear, please feel free to let me know how you feel about this reading. And yeah, as always, my dear, if you haven't, I also invite you to subscribe to the channel. If you do, my dear, don't forget to hit the bell because otherwise you may not get notified when I upload a new PickaCard or candle wax reading. And my dear, as always, if you would like to connect with me more on Instagram, I invite you there as well. My beautiful pile 2. Take care, my dear. Hey, pal 3, welcome to your reading, my dear. Now let's see, what will be your first impression of your future spouse? Now, my dear, before we start with the candle wax reading, I would like to get you one card from this oracle archetype. Can't speak. From this oracle archetype deck. Okay, this way. So let's see for my beautiful pile 3. What will be your first impression of your future spouse? Let's see, my dear. Let's see. All right, that's enough. So let's see what we can get. One card, please. Ooh. All right. And we got, the rescuer archetype. Okay. And it says, provide strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. I'm not quite sure, but didn't we get this card in the last reading as well, in which it was all about what will be your future spouse's first impression of you? If it wasn't the last reading, it definitely was a previous reading because it's very familiar. I feel like I recently worked with this energy. Anyways, let's look into this. What can we get about your first impressions regarding your future spouse? I feel like, my dear, your future spouse is going to have a very good reputation. Of course, it depends on your individual situation, but I feel like for some of you guys, it's either that you will hear about your future spouse before you will actually see them, and what you will hear about them is going to be very, very positive. Or even if you see them first, afterwards you will definitely get to know that they're liked and respected by a lot of people. I feel like your future spouse is someone who's well known for a lot of good work they do, not only for themselves but for other people. Someone who helps a lot of people. Some of you guys could have been drawn to Pal 2 as well. If this is the case, then feel free to watch it. If not, then as always, just stick with this one here. But I really feel like your future spouse is someone who maybe helps out other people a lot, and they are maybe involved in some kind of like community work, or maybe they do a lot of voluntary stuff, maybe even donation. I just feel like they are involved with people who need help, and this person is very eager to give help, whether it's through their energy, time, resources, but they definitely love to also give and make other people's life easier. And for that good work, I'm hearing this very noble character for some reason. Maybe that's something someone will say to you regarding them, or maybe something you will think of them. But because of all this, I feel like your future spouse definitely has a very good reputation. They're very well liked. People want to befriend them. People want to be around them. People like to be connected to this person. I also feel like they have a lot of connections. That's another thing. This could be someone who knows a lot of people, and a lot of people definitely want to get to know them. I also feel like this is more so someone who will show you, okay, regarding their love language, someone who will show you through their action how much they care about you. One love language of this person, or maybe the main one, could definitely be acts of service. This person is someone who is eager to do a lot of things for their loved ones, but it goes beyond that, right? As we have seen, this is not about loved ones, this is about people who may be strangers or people they don't directly know but who are in need. There is this element of helping those who may not be as fortunate as they are. But still, even in their personal life, I really feel like your future spouse is someone who also loves to help the people that they care about, like the people they love and the people in their inner circle. And we're looking into your partnership as well, right? I mean, you're going to be each other's spouse. So when we look into the romantic energy, I feel like you will see how much this person will do for you, and that it's something they need to do, like being needed or being of service is something that really makes them feel in their power or makes them feel empowered. And you're gonna see that they're not doing it because they are expecting anything, but they're doing it because they love it and it makes them feel love, when they do good things, whether it's to a spouse or to a stranger who needs help. Yeah, look at that. With no expectation of reward. Acts out of love. Yeah, exactly. Now, my dear, I would like to start straight away with the candle wax reading. So, let me get you your water bowl. All right, I also have your candle right next to me. So, let's see for my beautiful pile 3. What will be your first impression of your future spouse? What do you need to know, my dear? As always, my dear, as always, please give me a moment. Please give me a moment to tune into the energies in here for my beautiful pile. Three. Okay, the first thing I'm receiving, my dear, is that your future spouse is really good looking and they have a lot of admirers. This could be something you will notice about them. Like one of the first impressions you will get to know is that they are, yeah, very good looking, and it seems like a lot of people are interested in them. Definitely. Very, um, very handsome or gorgeous, beautiful. Whatever country this person is from or living in, perhaps, they could be very close to whatever beauty standard it is that is, yeah, there for the people. Okay. I am receiving a message that is pretty fiery, perhaps is a good way to phrase it. The Physical attraction between you guys is gonna be very prominent and very intense. You guys, both of you, you're gonna feel physically attracted towards each other big, big time. And honestly, you guys, this is a good way to phrase or to show you what I'm picking up on. Your pile card, the passion, and look at this person, they're on fire. Do you see that? Yeah, a very similar sensation that you guys may experience with your future spouse and they with you as well. I really feel like, yeah, intimacy is gonna be wow. Something you can look forward to, let me put it that way. But a lot of fire, you guys. That's wow, a lot of physical attraction. It's literally like, oh, it's literally getting hot in this room. Like, I feel like I'm getting, yeah, I'm warming up very, very much. Yeah, your future spouse could definitely have been recognized for something like this element of them being respected, or maybe they have made some kind of name for themselves. Yeah, people have a very positive like picture of them. Okay. Very good reputation for sure. Okay, this is a very random message, but another thing I am receiving for you, my dear pile 3, is that this could be something you will hear about, or maybe something your future spouse will share with you. But yeah, what I'm getting is that your future spouse could have, like, at the time, okay, that's very important to say. At the time you guys will meet, I mean, for some of you guys, maybe you have already met, for others, maybe you've not, but at the time you will meet, your future spouse could have recently, before that, gone through something which could have felt a little bit tough. I feel like this person fought through something, through some kind of life phase, and it eventually came to an end. They came out of it victorious. However, maybe you will hear something about it. It feels like an ending. It could be something that they have ended. So, for example, it could be a career, it could even be a relationship, a breakup, okay, that you will hear about, or maybe a change of career, relocation, but it really feels like something has ended. That's how I would describe it. If your future spouse is not going to be successful at the time you guys will meet, although I feel like success is definitely a huge possibility because that's the energy of them, then definitely still on the path they're on, success is written for them. I really feel like this person is gonna achieve a lot of things that they have been working towards, or like goals they've been setting, you know. They're definitely on the right path towards that. But they already could be successful when you guys meet. And it's a very random message, but that's what I'm getting. Like their future looks very bright, it looks very promising, a lot of abundance. And maybe this is something you will also feel about them, that one of the first impressions, it feels like they are someone who has a very bright future and a lot of things going for them. You will just know that this person is one that will succeed or already has succeeded, perhaps, okay? Your first impressions are definitely very, very positive about them. I feel like you will meet them in an environment which is very encouraging, like a very positive environment. Okay, this is like such a random message, but I'm also seeing a dog, like a pet. Someone may like to work out, move their body for sure. Maybe some kind of practice or ritual they like to do to bring movement to their body. My beautiful pile 3, this is all I'm getting for you guys for today. As always, my dear, please feel free to let me know how you feel about this reading. And yeah, as always, my dear, if you haven't, I of course also invite you to subscribe to the channel. If you do, my dear, don't forget to hit the bell, because otherwise you may not get notified when I upload a new PickaCard or candle wax reading. And my dear, as always, if you would like to connect with me more on Instagram, I invite you there as well. My beautiful pal 3, take care, my dear.